So my Toolkit activity is called the Homework Helper. First I'm going to show the different materials that I have inside. So we have 6 dice, 2 numbered dice, 2 of the more active activities, and then 2 of the calmer activities. And then I created a little cheat sheet that just lists all the activities on one single sheet. And then on the bottom of the container is this question that you ask the student before the activity begins. So for my fieldwork, it is at an after-school program, and so I chose this activity because one of the main things that we do is help the children with their homework for that school day. And my particular client that I did my client report on is some observations that I noticed is that she struggles with being able to sit down and focus on her homework after sitting in school for such a long period. So the idea I had in mind was to come up with an activity that allows the child to release some energy or calm down, and in hopes that that will help them to focus and to be able to sit and do their homework quickly and efficiently. And that's why I gave the option, because not every child's the same. Some may need to do a more active activity with releasing energy, or some may need that time to calm down and be able to focus. So they have that option, and also it helps the child, by asking the child, it helps them to learn their particular needs of what will help them focus, and hopefully in the future, if they come up with this or in a similar situation, it'll help them to know what they need to be able to focus. So the instructions for this activity are fairly simple, just a few steps. The first step is asking the child, as I mentioned before, the question of whether they need to release energy or calm down in order to focus on their homework. So once they choose, the colors or corresponding to releasing energy is red. So they're outlined in red here, those two. Or calming down, which are outlined in blue. So once they choose, then you're going to give them the dice that have the words on them. And then they're going to roll. So say they would like to have a calming down activity, they're going to pick the blue, they're going to roll it. And then you can have them read it. And if you need a little cheat sheet, you can look at this. And it'll give you a little more explanation of how they will complete the activity. So once they have that, they're going to pick up both green dice. They're going to roll both of them. And then they're going to add the numbers together. So here we have 11, so then the total is how many seconds they have to complete the activity. And then you can have them repeat these steps with all the dice about 3 times, or until the child feels ready to complete their homework. So some of the other features of this activity, I use larger dice, which makes it easier to grasp. Everything is coated in like a packaging tape material, so that makes it kind of like a laminated kind of feel, which makes it easy to clean off. You can easily wipe them down. And then the last feature is that it can be used before any activity, not just homework, that requires the child to be able to sit down and be able to focus. So in order to complete this activity, some of the functions that the child will need to be able to do is having executive functioning to be able to follow the directions and the steps of the activity, concept formation to know that whatever they roll is the activity that they're going to be completing. They need to have concentration to be able to focus when completing the activity for a selected amount of time. They need visual acuity to be able to read what's on the dice. With the activities that they're going to be completing, they need balance, spatial orientation, coordination of movements, proprioception, and having that awareness of their body position in space. They also need sufficient range of motion, muscle strength, and grasp when picking up the dice. A few ways of grading this activity up would be, first you could create dice that have a little bit more complex activities. that the child would have to complete. Another way would be to roll both dice and multiply the numbers rather than adding them if they're able to do that. You could also use a little bit smaller dice that require a little bit more refined grasp and refined pinch. And then another way would be, instead of having the child roll the dice, you could toss it to them, and then say you pick the left thumb. You could say whatever your left thumb lands on, then that's the activity you would have to do. Some ways of grading this activity down. You can have them just roll one of the green die so that it eliminates the math component altogether. You can have them roll the dice with the pictures on them so that they have more of a visual of what they should be doing with the activity. And then a third way would to be creating activities that are a little bit more